In this house lived a family consisting of a father, mother and daughter is their whole life and the most precious thing in it. The father works as a shoemaker, who does not have a lot of money, but he has compassionate, loving heart for his family, giving his family all his time. 6 years after giving birth to the daughter, Layla, the mother, became sick, and her illness increased. The father was sad because of his wife's illness, and asked her for doctors and medicine, but to no avail. Before the mother passed away, the mother recommended that her husband treat his daughter well, and that he strive to raise her, take care of her, and be patient with her. The mother died, and her daughter was sad, and the father was very sad. He asked God to help him raise this daughter, and take care of her, and carry out the mother's will in her. Since the mother's death, John has been doing both roles, as he is a father who makes shoes, sells and earns the money. He spends entirely on his beautiful daughter Layla. It was difficult, so he comes to her with all the food and drink she loves. At the same time, he did not forget that he was a father whose heart was filled with love and compassion for his daughter and played the role that her mother used to play. It was difficult. He washes her clothes, combs her hair, and studies her lessons with her, drive her to her school. Layla eats her food, then gets some sleep, then she gets tickets with her father, who helps her study. It stayed like this, and Layla grew year after year, and became mature, beautiful, that every young man wishes for. A few days after graduating, that Layla accepted and agreed to marry him. The father agreed, after Layla's consent, and it was confusing. Will Layla be happy because she will marry the guy she loves, or grieve because she will leave her father, who took care of her alone, faces life without her? The wedding and joy were held in Layla's house. The young husband held his bride's hand as they left, then Layla was thrown in her father's lap, saying goodbye to him, as if she was saying goodbye to him for the last time. John patted his daughter's back and whispered in her ear, saying, "Come on, little girl, your husband is waiting." Layla looked at him. The father replied, "I'll be fine. Don't worry." John whispered in the young husband's ear, "Take care of her, for she has no one but you." Layla gets in the car, and turns around, looking at her father through the car glass and waving to him with teary eyes. Her father waves to her, smiling, the smile of the weak and oppressed. The car left. The guests left, and the lights in the place went out. It became lonely. John sat outside his house for a long time after the people left. He started thinking about the past and his situation after his precious daughter. John had no choice but to enter the house. So he entered, broken, sad and staggering inside, and closed the door of the house for the first time, and did not find his daughter this time. John stood in front of every picture hanging on the walls of the house, remembering and crying, his heart filled with sorrow for his condition and his loneliness that will begin from tonight. John felt a painful fist squeezing his heart and chest, so he thought it was better to try to sleep. Maybe sleep would relieve him of the pain he feels. John threw himself on the bed, and his memories did not leave him. Here he played with his daughter in the presence of her mother. And here he was studying her lessons. And here he was feeding her, and here he was combing her hair. And here when she grew up and she told him about that young man who wants to marry her. What a beautiful but very painful memories for the father. Then he started to wonder, how will he spend his life alone? How will the morning come to him without his daughter? Yesterday he lost his precious wife, but he was finding his solace in his daughter. Today he lives without a wife or a daughter. How much I miss you, my wife. To tell you what is in my heart, to sociability of my loneliness. What is the use of life without you? John felt it was his last night when he saw his wife coming to him in the form of a light spectrum and talking to him smiling. My beloved husband, what is your stay in this world? Didn't your message lead? How much I missed you. Won't you come with me? Come on, my dear. Forget about this life, come to enjoy heaven with me. You were a great man and you carried out my will, and you took care of our daughter. And today she goes with her husband, where happiness is, and to start her new life with him. Come on, dear, there's no place for you here. The wife extends her hands to her husband. She takes his soul out of his body. He holds her hand and takes him up.